Today we are going to be going over 7 fresh designer fragrances that are worth blind buying, with a bit of a twist, and that being these aren't necessarily your typical summertime scents that you might normally think of. Some of these are kind of going at it in a different way. I still believe these to be on the fresher side for sure, and I do think they are well suitable for this time of year, but they are kind of a different take on generally what you would expect to get out of a summer scent. And some of these have a little bit more of a complexity going on. They're a little bit more interesting. The wearing experience might be a bit more in-depth. So if that's what you're looking for, this is the video for you. And I'll drop some links to these down below to discounters for you if you want to pick any of these up for yourself. Let's get things kicked off with L'Eau d'Issy Pour Homme Intense by Issey Miyake. Now I've popped this one up on the channel a few times here and there. It's got yuzu, incense, and papyrus. And I really like it because of those notes that I just listed off. Those are the ones that I pick up on the most, and the yuzu is no surprise. That's what this line is built off of. However, the incense, the papyrus, there's some nutmeg in here as well. You're getting some smokes, some spices. It's a little bit more interesting. It's kind of ambery, it's a little bit more warm, but it still does have generally that L'Eau d'Issy DNA going on, that freshness, the kind of summertime nature about it. And when you do smell this one, whether it's off the atomizer or spraying it, I mean, you get that nice kind of invigorating, uplifting, refreshing smell, but there's just some other notes going on to kind of give it a little bit more of an interesting footprint. So I do think this one has a little bit more personality compared to, say, the original L'Eau d'Issy or a lot of other more standard, typical designer fresh fragrances on the market. This one has a bit more going on, and it's still very affordable. You can pay, I think it's right around $35 to $40 for this one. Very good price. Now this next one's a little bit more expensive, but it is a great pickup for sure, and this kind of fits into more of the sweet summer fragrance category. That's kind of becoming more popular these days, and this one is a really good kind of interpretation of that style or that genre. It is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male On Board. So this one has some mint, kind of a geranium rather, some amber. You get some of that lavender in here and a little bit of that kind of ambery tonka sweetness going on. And it's essentially just taking this DNA and adding a freshness, a green kind of smell, a little bit of a citrus, bergamot, that sort of thing. Smells fantastic. Has a kind of an ozonic quality to it, almost kind of like a violet leaf type of texture or feeling, even though I don't think they have that listed off. It kind of has that impression though. And so the way I kind of look at this is it is one of the few remaining kind of fresh summertime versions of Le Male, because all of the other ones like Popeye, Superman, and things like that have been discontinued. And there was a point where they were putting out summer editions every year. I covered a few of those in like a whole buying guide video I did, but again, those are no longer. And this is one that you can get on pretty much any discounter for right around $80. I've seen it go for less, but $80 is kind of the standard going rate. I think it's very fair for this one. Great quality out of it. For what it's worth, it is kind of unique. This next one's very affordable. Again, kind of going back to the lower price range of around $35 or so. It's MISSONI PARFUM. So this one has grapefruit. There's going to be some birch in here. You're getting some other woods as well, some aromatics, you know, lavender and things like that. But it kind of gets lumped into the Bleu de Chanel category, and that's because of the grapefruit and the birch kind of giving off maybe an incense or smokiness, and it's kind of where that comes from. And sure, it kind of has a little bit of that going on, the Bleu de Chanel deal, but this one's actually more woody. It's not really blue in the traditional sense like Bleu de Chanel. It doesn't quite have that same type of style. So this one definitely goes off in its own direction, and it kind of does its own thing here. But I would definitely say that this is incredibly versatile. I mean, you really don't have any situations that you couldn't wear this one for. Sure, it's going to be better suited for warmer times of the year generally. Like I would choose something entirely different when it's 10 degrees outside around the holidays. There are just things that would be better suited for that environment and temperature and time of year and feeling. But you could wear this if you wanted to, theoretically. And so I think if you're looking for something that's affordable, versatile, has great quality to price ratio, and has decent performance, and it's blind buy safe, this is one you should look into. MISSONI Wave is also really good, but I kind of wanted to feature this one. Cool presentation with a magnetic cap. You really can't go wrong with it. Next up, we got Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Now, this is going to be their take on a blue scent, and it is a parfum concentration, so they are using a lot of ambroxan in here. But one thing that's interesting, along with some of the citrus and the aromatics, is the mango accord, and that is a note that they use in a whole bunch of their Polo scents in general, like even Polo Double Black, which is a coffee-forward scent, also uses mango, which is kind of an interesting combination, but it does work. There's no coffee in this one. Again, it's blue fragrance inspired, but the mango does give it a little bit of a fruity, different texture. It makes it stand out compared to all of the others. And there's a little hint of like an aquatic note or a sea note in here, but it's not an aquatic scent by itself. It's more of a supplementary note going along with the citrus, the ambroxan, and things like that. You know, it might not be everyone's cup of tea. If you are just completely over the blue scent thing, then you'll want to avoid this one. But you can get it for a great price. I've seen this one under $50 many times. Kind of floats right around in there. Retailers will get this one marked down super low often. It's one that you can get for a great price. Great performance being that it's a parfum, and a little bit of a unique take on that DNA overall. Now, this next one is brand new, so in terms of price, it's not cheap yet. However, it will be affordable at some point. It'll never be cheap, probably. You know, these fragrances on discounters typically are around $50, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, kind of mid-range. This is, you know, I think a little over $100 at retail, so you can wait on this one. I wouldn't say to rush out and buy it right now at retail. It will be popping up at discounters soon. In fact, it already has, but it sold out quick. So just stay tuned and it'll come up. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Summer Vibes. Again, it's the newest one this year. I wanted to feature it though and kind of get the word out because the more I try it, the more I love it. It's got cypress, lemon, amberwood in here. Actually, quite a bit similar to Light Blue O Intense. And again, that's another thing where the more I've smelled this one, the more I'm like, yeah, there are some striking resemblances to the point where it's a true flanker. They're not kind of swaying too far from the DNA. They're not being too similar either. There's some differences, mainly being the cypress and things like that are giving it a little bit more depth even over O Intense. So between the two, I actually kind of find this one to be a little bit more fun to wear, maybe because it's new and it's a little bit different. I think it's just kind of refreshed. It kind of modernized that DNA even more, and it just makes it a nice little update. And again, when you can get this one for mid-price range, $50, I think it'll be a great pickup for summertime. And if you want to get notified on anything rare, discontinued, or hard to find, or when new releases like this show up at discounters for half the price, if you get on my mailing list at the first link down below and send a text to the number down below, you will be first in line to get notified of all of the fragrance deals and sales that you will want to know about. There's a lot going on all the time that you're probably missing out on when you're at work and doing important stuff. Allow me to do the work for you and send you a notification, so all you have to do is just buy it if you want it. It really takes all of the guesswork out of it. All right, up next we have a DUNHILL scent. DUNHILL, they have some great fragrances, a lot of which are pretty decently priced as well. This is one that's, I wouldn't say like it's more of a specialty collection, I guess is what it is. So the price on this one is a little bit more compared to like your DUNHILL Icon and a few of those others. I want to say, I could be wrong, maybe $68, somewhere around in there. It's upper mid-range. So to me, though, this one does really exude a lot of quality and uniqueness and character. And so I think the price that this goes for on discounters is fair. But it is DUNHILL Amalfi Citrus. Really cool bottle. You can see they do kind of keep the, you know, DUNHILL Icon style bottle, except now you can see through and you get the same heavy duty thick glass with the snap cap. This could do some damage if you dropped it on your foot, so be careful. It's got lemon, petitgrain, neroli, and bergamot. It smells fantastic. Truly is a citrus scent through and through. A little bit green and leafy and kind of outdoorsy smelling from the petitgrain neroli combo. Just kind of smells like you're out in the garden, you're out in nature, enjoying life, enjoying the beautiful weather. And so again, you know, you have to be into citrus fragrances to like this one because it is citrus forward. If you are, this is a fantastic pickup that is super easy to blind buy. I don't really think you're going to find anyone who just doesn't think that it at least smells pleasant. All right, we're going to finish this one off with another cheapie. This is, you know, right around $20 usually, and pretty much all of them in this line are right around the same price. And you could pretty much go with any from this line as well. But this is kind of the one I chose, Nautica Midnight Voyage. So this has amber, mint, and pink pepper. That's the only notes that they give you, and hey, that's good enough. Kind of a blue scent inspired thing, but different. Mintier, it's greener, it has actually some of that OG Nautica Voyage going on. However, there is some of the ambroxan kind of ambery accords going on and things like that. I like this. I wasn't super thrilled about it when it first came out, but now that you don't have to pay retail for it anymore, you can get it for a cheap price. There's a good possibility that maybe it shows up at rack stores and places like that if you wanted to shop in person, and you can get it for a good price. It brings more to the table now at this price than it would at retail. Please do not pay retail for this. But again, when you can get it for a low price, I think it is really nice. It's well done. It's actually surprisingly decent quality. It's not a Dior or a Chanel by any means, but it's impressive for the price. Performance is nothing to write home about, but again, it's affordable enough that you can apply it heavily and reapply throughout the day. And if you just kind of want a different take on the Nautica Voyage DNA, this is one you can look into. Really easy to blind buy, and people will go crazy for this stuff. It does have that mass appeal. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 7 designer fragrances that are worth blind buying. I think you will love them and the people around you definitely will. And again, if you want to pick any of these up for yourself, hit the first links down below and go do some shopping around, get them on discounters. And if you want to be notified of deals, restocks, rare fragrances, and all of that stuff, get on the mailing list and get on the texting list by just sending a text to the number, and get on the mailing list by hitting the first link down below and signing up. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.